We've got breaking news for you.
Ding, ding, ding.
As we begin the oil stream here on Edmonton Sports Talk, presented by Boston Pizza. Breaking news. Travis Dermott has been claimed by the Minnesota Wild.
See you later.
We're going to need all the reaction for the full hour of the oil stream as Edmonton's depth defenseman, at least to start the year, has been claimed by the Minnesota Wild. He's on the move. The era of Alec Regula has officially commenced.
Regula. Welcome. Big guy.
Big guy.
Seems like a nice lad in his
Nice
interview with
Gene yesterday.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of Oiler fans are going to be too bent out of shape because they're wondering, what do you do with Dermott? What does Regula mean to this team? And, well, we have a bit of an answer. Dermott, no longer a member of the Oilers. 10 games played, -3, 2 penalty minutes. Did have a good training camp, but he is now a member of the Minnesota Wild as we begin this edition of the Oil Stream. Tom Gazzola, Hernan Salas, YouTube Trev with you. You can text us, 780-218-9999. I know we're going to have a flood of texts in regard to this breaking news.
Yes.
Get into the inbox and the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. Like, share, subscribe, please, and thank you. Again, this pickled herring thing that Dusty's going to have to endure, I think will be very funny and disgusting at the same time. So let's get to 11,000. Hey, Trev, don't go anywhere either. Initial thoughts. The Travis Dermott era in Edmonton has now officially come to a close.
Well, they lost Middleton yesterday, the Minnesota Wild.
Right.
And Jonas Brodin's still on the shelf. It sounds like he's close, but yeah, just a depth add. He'll probably be gone by in a month or so. But, yeah, I mean, a guy that's serviceable can fit in your third pair. Yeah, good on him. And just kind of knew here he wasn't going to be a game changer. And, yeah, for me, it's not a big deal. Good on him. He's going to another NHL team, so he's going to get some NHL paychecks, some NHL minutes. Good on Travis Dermott. Just to add to the waivers, Pierre Engvall and Oliver Wahlstrom on waivers by the Islanders today.
Wow.
So, remember Wahlstrom, like a couple years ago, had a really good season?
Yes.
He's completely fallen off.
Yeah.
Interesting. We'll see if anyone picks these guys
indicative
up.
of where the Islanders are at. They're kind of scratching their heads going, what are we? Are we a good team? Are we a middle-of-the-pack team? Are we a bad team?
Yeah. Patrick
Waugh is kind of losing his mind with this group.
Yeah, it's great. He was pretty upset last night.
Yeah.
He called out his team for what they did to Ilya Sorokin.
Hung him out.
Hung him out to dry.
That's not good. The goalie guild is strong. We've got one of those in here. He's pretending to do meetings today. You'll hear from him on EST Afternoons with Hernan Salas and the goalie, Joaquin Gage. Yeah, your thoughts on the Oilers' 7-1 victory in Minnesota last night. A complete win. Edmonton hits the ice here at 1:15, I believe it is. Yes, got the text earlier. And they will prepare for the Vegas Golden Knights. So we'll take a little peek ahead on the show to tomorrow afternoon's game. Just some housekeeping with that. Live on location tomorrow at Hudson's Bourbon Street if you want to come join me. Nanso, are you off tomorrow? No, you're on tomorrow.
No, I'll be here.
Okay, you're going to come down for a bite to eat?
I might, yeah. Yeah, it's not too far, so it's kind of perfect. I kind of like the food there at Hudson's, too.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Shout out to Tony, Curtis, Marasia, Shay, entire staff over at Boston Pizza Westgate. Another great night last night. Big Uke walking away with the Oilers Heritage Classic.
He's a beauty.
Hoodie.
Man.
I think it was a large or an XL, and Uke squeezed into it.
And we tried that new Philly cheesesteak.
The Philly, what was it called?
It's Philly cheesesteak. It's kind of like because they said they took out the Big Dipper.
Yeah, Philly Dipper.
The Philly Dipper.
And it was
pretty good.
phenomenal.
What are you looking at?
What? They got rid of the Big Dipper? Your audio's not on.
They got rid of the Big Dipper?
Is that what it's called?
That was they did.
Are you kidding me?
No joke. They turned it
That was
into a
like-
Philly dipper. It's really good.
You know, it's funny. I was going to order that, but then the guy's like, "This is the new one on
Tony,
the
yeah.
menu." So I went with it. It's very similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't be upset, buddy.
Okay.
I thought it was better. I had never had the Big Dipper. I had the Philly dipper last night. It was so good.
It was
And
like
he
one of
thought-
the most popular items that I
Oh,
always
yeah.
served at BP's. Was the Big Dipper.
Oh yeah, you're a BP's employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
7 years employed. Best bartender in Pincher Creek. Best bartender Kingsway Boston Pizza. Let's go.
You
There's
know,
a
I'm
ribbon with your name on it somewhere.
There is several. Employee of the month.
I'm a certified bartender too. We should have a bartender off.
Oh, you
Do you
destroy
need
me.
do you need a judge?
You destroy me. Yes. You could be the judge.
Trev, since you're on, thoughts on Dermott?
Yeah.
Losing him.
I'm devastated. This is a tough loss for the team, boys. No, I mean, he didn't play much. There's a reason why he wasn't really in the lineup. The Regula player, they seem to like him a little bit more. It provides, I guess, a little bit more. Dermott didn't really move the needle much.
No.
He had a few okay looks in the
Yeah.
preseason. That was it.
That was it.
And you see what he was able to do, or lack thereof, this season. Is 10 games played, donuts across the board, -3. I mean, he was just a filler. That's
Yeah.
all it was. The Oilers are losing. No one really of significance. I am not worried at all.
Regula, just to give people a sense of what the deal is with him. From what I've been told, it's not necessarily. I mean, if this experiment, let's call it, doesn't work with Regula, they can move on easily. But you're right, Trev. Dermott was kind of a stopgap, turn and burn type of player, and it's kind of what it was. And nice guy, and played the 10 games and couldn't get back into the lineup. Stetcher kind of solidified his spot. Stetcher scoring again last night, by the way. And then Regula, because of the history with Stan Bowman, has played 22 games with
Sorry. I can't
two
talk
different
anymore.
organizations. You're not working, Joaquin. Do not interrupt this program.
Regula.
Anyway, so there is kind of, I'm not going to say that the Ty Emberson type of feel to Regula, but there is a hope that this young defenseman at some point might become something. They get him on the cheap. If it doesn't work out, no harm, no foul type of thing. So that's my understanding of this Regula situation.
And I know some people are asking already. The Oilers skate at 1:15, so we won't know about Bouchard until about 1:45, 2 o'clock.
And I have put in an ask to a few people about Bouchard and his situation. And
an
the
insider
responses I've been getting is not, they haven't heard much.
I think Cervelli had it last night where he says he doesn't think it's too serious.
We'll see. I mean,
It looked bad because we're going to play it on EST after. So tune into EST afternoons and we'll breaking news on Evan Bouchard, right, Tommy?
yep. Lots of chatter on the lock shop listening to Huss and was Bull and Moss on today. And I forgot about the Perfetti Hartman situation last year. And Huss was dropping the Rat King, and I was like, oh, right. And Hartman did catch Bouchard in a vulnerable position. It was listen, I think you should be aware. I'll sum it up like this because we're talking about it off the air. It was a cheap play. I'll start there. Cheap play. But if you're Evan Bouchard and you're chasing a puck back behind your goal line and you've got a Minnesota Wild player right beside you, a team that you're smoking 7-1, just be aware. Like, this isn't going to be an easy battle. They're mad at you. They hate you. You just embarrassed them in front of their hometown. And he didn't. And Hartman clipped him, vulnerable spot, post on the head to the post. He looked like you say, my knee. He fell hard. I don't like the play that Hartman made. I'm just saying from Bouchard's point of view, like, be ready to engage. And I'm not blaming Bouchard for getting hurt, by the way. Just don't go there. Please don't. I'm just saying, know that Hartman is an a-hole on the ice. Mm-hmm. He's right beside you. And you're going back for a puck with 2 or 3 minutes left.
I look at it, I don't know, because it wasn't called a penalty.
No.
Like, is Hartman supposed to half-ass it because they're losing 6-1? No, like
No, he plays
in
like
there.
a jackass,
Yeah,
and
you said he's pissed off.
He might do that to you. and he
He's
did it.
still going out there and giving it all on his shift. And again, I'm not blaming Bouchard, but know who you're going up against.
Yes.
He's gonna go in 120%. For me, I didn't find it dirty. I just think he went in there, gave him a hit that was really close to the net. He fell awkwardly. So for me, I'm not going to sit here and say Harman that was a cheap play. I think Harman was just being himself
I
and
do
playing
think
till the
it's-
final whistle.
I'm saying that's a cheap play.
Okay.
Listen, Ryan Hartman, I think is a good player. I think he's a jerk on the ice. I kind of admire some of the stuff he does because he doesn't give you anything, right?
Yeah.
And I admire that. Now, does he take it over the line? Yup. So I think that was a cheap play. And you know what, Nance? And it's fine not to think it isn't.
Yeah.
The end result, potential injury here to a very important player.
Yeah. That's the tough part, right?
Yeah.
That's what hurts.
And it does, and it leads to a potential injury. But I just, if you're that player going back and you're like, okay, well, I know this guy's a bit of a wild card, and we're absolutely crushing these guys right now, and they're mad. Maybe I stabilize myself or prepare as if I'm going to go in with some contact. And Hartman caught him. So cheap play in my books, but you need to be aware. Don't know what the situation with Bouchard is. We'll obviously pass it along on EST Afternoons when the boys get an update from Rogers Place.
And we're also going to run it again and just take a look at it. I want to get Gager's thoughts because you know what? Yesterday on the post-game show, it was the three of us. We talked about it, but we kind of, it was such a positive post-game show that we didn't really get into it outside of if there's an update. And we knew we weren't going to get one last night. You usually don't right after the game unless it's like a major injury. Yeah. So if anything, best case scenario, he misses 1 or 2 games, Tom, or none, obviously. But just
or he's on the ice and practicing,
Yeah, just the way he kind of hobbled off, I think it's going to be at least 1 game here for Mr. So does that mean Regula draws in right away?
I would think
Josh
so.
Brown gets the call up?
I don't know. You literally have Regula on your roster right now.
Yeah.
So I think I'd play him. If he's healthy and good to go,
I guess it depends on the length because then
Yeah.
they'd probably call up a 7th defenseman just to have one.
Anyway, so we'll see. About an hour from now, the team will be on the ice down at Rogers Place or DCA, and we'll see if Bouchard's out there. And then if he isn't, expect an update from Chris Knobloch or some sense of an update because there are times where this head coach has said, oh, that guy will play tomorrow. He's just out for tonight. And that guy happens to still be out, and that was a month ago. Victor Arvidsson.
Joe's asked again, Bouchard, Oilers on the ice at 1:15, so we'll have an update probably 30, 45 minutes after the start of practice. So
Yeah.
we'll let you know then.
There you go.
Up until now, there's nothing to report on Evan Bouchard.
Yes, as of right now. Everything you're hearing, hearsay. I had someone text in earlier, say like, hey, I heard this. And it's like, okay, let me go ask.
I love that you're like, or inside. Let me ask. I'll find out. And then,
I'm not going to make some crap
No,
up.
I know, but then you report it back and everybody gets mad at you.
I know. I know. Thank you for bringing that up
yeah.
because you don't know shit. Tom.
You're so negative, Tom.
You literally, like, we have nasties, people that listen or watch. They'll be like, Tom, what's going on here? Like, let me ask. It's the least I can do if I haven't already. And then I go and ask a few people, and I triangulate their responses, and then I provide the information and go, this is what I was told. People, you idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. This guy in Toronto that's thousands of kilometers away said this. And it's like, okay, believe him. I don't care. I'm just trying to provide you information. Thank you for bringing that up. I appreciate that.
Yeah, of course.
Anyway, lots to get to. The Oil Stream brought to you by Boston Pizza. Feeling the holiday hustle. Celebrate the season with a festive escape at BP. Our holiday menu brings you indulgent dishes, delightful desserts, and holiday-inspired drinks that are perfect for sharing or savoring all to yourself. Treat yourself to a holiday break with flavors that make every visit feel special. And we had a special visit yesterday. Shout out again to everybody at Boston Pizza Westgate. Always a great time there. Nanso, you said it felt like a warm and fuzzy feeling, like a hollow break last night on the post-game show. What impressed you most about the Oilers' victory in Mini last night?
Yeah, just right off puck drop, they were the better team, and it's kind of something that started in Denver after that Utah game that they won in overtime, but they had a lot of good and a lot of bad in that game.
Mm-hmm.
But since that Denver game, that one against the Avalanche, they've been so good. And I think yesterday, sure, it's always two things. Minnesota didn't play their best game, obviously, but I thought the Oilers were awesome from minute one, out shooting them, all over them in the first 5 minutes, got the 2 goals, and they gave up one late, which is a little unfortunate. But then in the second, you're like, oh, these guys going to give up. Nope, boom, they score right away on the power play. And it was one of those games where you were watching it and you're like, the Oilers are winning this. Like, I don't care what happened in this game, they're winning this game. That's how good they were. I'd put it up there with their top 2 game, maybe their best game of the season, Tom.
That's fair, I think. Yeah.
I mean, shorthanded goal, 2 power play goals, 5-on-5, they were exceptional. I love
PK gave one up, though, Hernan.
I know, but again, it was like 2 seconds left.
Yeah,
It's pretty much they killed it off and just a shot from the point. The Faber he just put it on net, got deflected, beats Pickard. Pickard, excellent, moved to 7-3 on the season. So honestly, and I said it yesterday on the post-game show, I had nothing to complain about. There wasn't one play from the Edmonton Oilers or one player where I was like, okay, this guy could have done that better. I thought they were all on their game, top notch, and this team is finding their groove, and it's great to see.
Yeah. I'll just add to what you just said, finding their groove, great to see. Someone made a joke about it yesterday where I'm like, this is why Oilers fans can't have nice things. I feel like they're having nice things right now.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's kind of nice to see. I like the positive vibes in the nasty chat yesterday. The inbox was good, and there was still good conversation. I'm like, oh, this must be nice things. Not stressing to get to the place where they're supposed to be. It's just no, they're rounding into form. And I was just going to also mention, I really think that this team has turned it around since November 9th. That was the win against Vancouver in Vancouver, 7-3 win. There was some spotty games after that. Don't get me wrong.
Sure.
They pissed away a couple of leads too, especially in the week after. They had that ugly loss in Montreal. They lost in Toronto. Minnesota handed them their butts on the 21st. But I think that's where you could start to see the shift had happened, and things were starting, signs that things were starting to click in that Vancouver win on November 9th. And then now, like you said, especially since the second period against Utah,
really
it feels like now they've kind of found themselves, if you will.
Oh, yeah. This is the team we all expected right off the hop. We're coming off that, great playoff run, 1 game away from winning it all. That was the team this is the team now that we were expecting in October. It took them a little while.
Yeah.
It's interesting because yesterday we had a 49ers guest on, and we were talking about how bad they've been this year. And he goes, I think it's been hard for them going to the Super Bowl, losing again, and then having to come back and play regular season games. And we were talking about that, maybe a little bit of a hangover. Into November, we threw that out. We said, okay, enough is enough.
Yeah.
You played enough games, but maybe this team is kind of like a Stuart Skinner, Evan Bouchard. They're slow to start always, but when they're on their game, they can beat anyone. Anyone, Tom. They beat Tampa Bay 2-1. Yesterday, 7-1. The only game they've lost is a 1-0 a game where the Oilers played really well. They just couldn't find a goal. They missed 2 sitters by Brown, and I think it was Connor Brown and Evan Bouchard, backdoors that they just fanned on. So this team is rolling, and again, it's impressive to see. And you got to think that when they do add that defenseman that's going to be in the top 4, it's only going to get better. And then you're getting healthy bodies back, and Evander Kane and Victor Arvidsson. I mean, Kasperi Kapanen, Tom, he's
very good.
He's noticing that he has a chance here, and he's making the most of it. And that's great to see, because now all Oiler players are outside of the big 4. They're all like, okay, I better turn up my game, because once everybody's healthy, I might be the odd man out for a game or 2.
And that's a healthy situation to have. And then also being literally healthy, just to have that competition within the room, guys having to compete for jobs and time on ice, that's good. It keeps them sharp, maintains that edge, and they don't take shifts off, or generally shouldn't take shifts off. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. Hit us up in the nasty chat as well. I've got a few texts that I want to get to. And then you touched on Kapanen, and I'll stretch that to the depth scoring yesterday. Connor Brown, multi-point game, a goal and assist +2. Good to see. Kapanen's goal, obviously. Podkolzin, a couple of assists. Nugent Hopkins gets in on the scoring. McDavid, a nice 2-point game with the 2 assists. You get an assist from Janmark. I think Janmark was absolutely vital in that Brown goal, starting in his own zone, little play to get it going back the other way, the recognition that there was an opportunity for a 3-on-1 there, and then the nice little touch after the Emberson pass across to get it to Brown. Brown buries it. Just a really good sequence there. And then Derek Ryan scoring. I know it was late, but it was a nice redirection, and Minnesota at that point knew that it was over, and they were just moving on to their next game. But just the fact that he gets his first of the year, I think first since February, Jack was mentioning on the broadcast, and those are good things because him scoring in garbage time, a legit goal though, probably gives him a little shot of confidence going forward. So these are all good things. Everybody toe in toe going in the same direction, which is good, really good. Shots on goal last night, 35-30 in favor of the Oilers. Lots of offensive zone time, sustained offensive zone time in all 3 periods too for Edmonton.
Yeah, and Minnesota really didn't have much until probably late in that third when the Oilers were like, "Hey, let's just get out of here," right?
Yeah.
Like, that was just, they were due. I like the people that are like, "Oh, everybody said this was, like, chirping now that they won." I'm like, okay, but, like, if you were a little down and not feeling confident in the team going into Minnesota, it wasn't a team thing. It's just they don't win in Minnesota.
Yeah, they literally have 7 wins in 17 years up until last night. That was their 8th victory in 17 years. They're 7-22-4 at XL Energy Center since the 2008 season.
So it's okay if you're feeling a little bit, unsure of what the result would be, but it was a great surprise. It was great to see them. And 5 minutes in, you knew this game was going to be different because the Oilers were flying. They were all over them. I mean, I showed up there and I said, "Tom, man, like these guys, like it sounds like," because I was driving, so I listened to the first 5 minutes, and the play was in Minnesota zone the whole time. All you heard was Oilers guys being mentioned because they had the puck the whole time.
We were talking with Gager about it on Game Changers yesterday on the pregame show, and Gager was saying like, want to see them be assertive and kind of take it to the Wild, and I said, you know what, Gager, we haven't seen them take games right away.
Yeah.
And they took that game, which was great.
They took it and grabbed it, and they didn't wait for something to happen or see what kind of game Minnesota was going to play. They showed up, and they said, "Minnesota, you better match our game." And Minnesota couldn't. And yes, they're missing a few key players, but Minnesota's still a good team, and they were still rolling.
6 of 7 they had won. And yesterday, we can confidently say, alluding back to Game Changers, that the Oilers were not a bunch of cotton-headed ninny-muggins.
Yes, they were fantastic.
That was one of Joaquin's game changers. His game changers yesterday I thought were hilarious. He had all 7 levels of the candy cane forest. Point number 2 is don't be a bunch of cotton-headed ninny-muggins. And then third point was he must be a South Pole elf. So I think they managed to handle all 3 of those points quite well yesterday in a 7-1 victory. Okay, before we move over to tomorrow's game, let's take a look at some texts. 780-218-9999. Get at us. We want to hear from you. Nizam says, "Sorry, Hernan. You are wrong. That was a cheap play, as Struds noted yesterday, and he gave his thoughts as to why last night." I love Struddy, but I didn't catch what he said. But I thought it was a cheap play too. So, but then you admit it, it's a cheap play.
It wasn't from behind. Could he have let up? Sure. But again, Hartman is not going to, no matter what the score is, he's not going to let up, guys.
He plays like a jerk.
And I think it's how close it was to the net. The danger of it is what people have the issue with. But
I get that.
He doesn't hit him from behind. It wasn't a cheap shot.
They're side by side.
Yeah.
Spatial awareness, I think, could have been up a little bit on that one. But still, I prefaced it when I went into my spiel. Cheap shot. Library Pat says, Hartman is a punk. He 100% intended to put him into the goalpost. I'm with Tom on this one. Thanks, Library Pat. Eden says, afternoon, boys. The coaches clearly couldn't find a pairing or a match that they liked Dermott on by the eye test. Dermott seemed like he couldn't process things quick enough. Yeah, Eden, I think that's a fair point. Just a gap filler, I think.
Oh, yeah.
Like turning a PTO into a guy that's been around the league for a while and getting him on a two-way deal is just plug and play, right? Like, I don't think anybody's going to be really disappointed that Travis Dermott's tenure with the Oilers ends after 10 games and he gets picked up by the Wild or anything like that. I think they'll just be like, okay, well, he was serviceable. They used him where they could. So be it. Hampton Steve getting in on the Dermott conversation says, with Dermott gone and Regula not yet off IR, if Bouchard misses any time, who do you see getting called up? The human pylon, Josh Brown. Yeah, that would be it. We'll see where Regula is at status-wise. It was mentioned to me that they might have to send him down for conditioning.
Oh.
But the plan is still for him to get a look up here.
Bill Guerin says he thinks Dermott will play tomorrow.
Well,
so he's jumping right into the lineup.
Dermott
obviously.
probably. I wonder if Dermott hopped on the
Oh, that's a good
flight back with Edmonton.
No.
He probably did, actually.
No, because he was on waivers yesterday.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then Guerin's probably like, hey, we're picking you up, so stay in.
I don't know if you're allowed to do that.
Oh, because there's an order.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't really know.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
I mean,
yeah, he probably flew back then.
I think he probably did because I got back last night. It's a 3-hour flight. I've done it many times, especially in the old Northwest Division. We used to go back and forth. There was one span in the first 36 games of the year where the Oilers and Wild played each other 6 times.
Yeah.
That's on top of like 2 preseason games in Edmonton and Minnesota. We were there like 4 times in a span of like 2 months. And I was like, man, I feel like I live in St. Paul.
Maxime Shushinsky era?
Well, that was even before. And
we talked about it last night.
Yeah, what was that? Sekarash, Lubomir Sekarash beating Joaquin Gage.
Gager won in Minnesota that game.
Joaquin Gage is the first Edmonton Oilers netminder to beat the Minnesota Wild, and he did it in Minnesota.
That's my co-host.
October 15th, 2000. Oilers goal scorers, Mike Greer. Who else got in on that action?
Mike Greer. Who did you say yesterday?
I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. Was it Ryan Smith? And I think there was also a depth goal, too.
Yeah, there was.
Remember, like, Brian Swanson had an assist, and Tom Pody had an assist. I think there was
and
a
the
power
Swiss
play.
Smiths.
Michelle Reason.
Michelle Reason, yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking about that with Gager last night, going down memory lane. So there you go. All right. Text us, 780-218-9999. We're going to take a look ahead to tomorrow's game against the Vegas Golden Knights. We also have Keep It or Clip It coming up as well. Gazzola and Salas with you on the Oil Stream. We're inside the Popeyes Louisiana Kitchen Studios here at ESD. At Popeyes right now, festive family box featuring 4-piece signature chicken, 4 tenders, 4 regular sides, and 4 biscuits with an option for a 4-drink bundle upcharge. Festive family box available in-store and on delivery. I think it's $30 in store. And with the 4 fountain drinks, $36. That's pretty good. And you know the portions at Popeyes are pretty big. And you're full after. I always recommend the mac and cheese as the side. Oh. And then I would accept the upcharge on the drink because I would fill it with a cherry Coke, which they have on the fountains at Popeyes.
Nice.
Thank you.
Cherry Coke, eh?
Yeah.
I just like sometimes I have a craving for just a classic Coca-Cola.
Coca-Cola?
Nice and cold, especially when you're hungover.
Yeah. Yeah.
No?
No, I said yeah.
Oh, okay. Not cherry Coke.
I love cherry Coke. Something about maybe it's so rare to find. I don't go out of my way to find it. As a kid, we never had it.
Do you like the vanilla Coke?
No.
No, okay.
No, I did not. And I remember Pepsi Twist.
Pepsi Twist.
They had all these different flavors back in the day.
Coke Zero?
Coke Zero is fine.
Yeah, I like Coke
Yeah.
Zero.
Diet Coke, I can tell the difference.
Oh,
and
there's
I'm
a
like,
huge difference. Huge difference.
Yeah. If I'm going to ruin my teeth and my fitness with soda, may as well go all in.
Did you get an activation in today?
I got one in yesterday. Not yet. I'll get one in, though.
Yeah, I got one in on, what day is it? Wednesday.
Today's Friday.
Wednesday evening, Off day yesterday. I tried to get up this morning. There's no chance.
Nah,
So I
that's
might
okay.
do one tomorrow before the pregame show.
Oh, all right. We'll be on the air 1 o'clock tomorrow live.
Yes.
On location, Hudson's, Bourbon Street. Come on down. I hope I have some GCs to give away for you. Usually it's a good time over at Hudson's as well. And it's the Oilers and the Golden Knights, third meeting of the season between these Pacific Division foes. That 1-0 loss to Vegas, I didn't really mind. Like, that was another hard-fought battle. It felt like that game coming out of the break last year in Vegas. We were down there with the EST crew, and the Oilers lost that one 3-1. But essentially, it was a 2-1 game with an empty netter. And I thought that last game against Vegas this season, a week and a half ago, was very similar. Like, one mistake will cost you. Hard to come by goals, evenly matched teams. To me, Hernan, tomorrow's game for the Oilers, and I know they'll get a couple cracks at Vegas here. If they could pull off a regulation win against the Golden Knights, I think just for the mental psyche of the group to know that the Golden Knights don't always have their number, I think that'll be a benefit. I really do. And then the fact that it's a 4-point game and you can close the gap on first in the Pacific.
Yeah, I mean, if you look back to that first game, they blew it in the final 5 minutes here at home. And then the 1-0 game could have went either way. Oilers played really well in that game. So, yeah, I think it's another measuring stick. It seems like they keep hitting these. And the Oilers keep getting everybody's best. And, yeah, you look back to last night, and maybe Minnesota wasn't at their best. But, I mean, the Oilers don't get a lot of easy nights. And I thought the Oilers earned it yesterday, though. I don't think it was easy by any stretch. I don't think Minnesota just showed up and laid an egg. I think they were trying. I think they were in it and, trying to create. And Pickard held down the fort. The PK, for the most part, did. But the Oilers were just relentless last night. So I do think tomorrow is another measuring stick game. I love it that it's Vegas, Florida. Like this is just awesome.
Your nemesis.
Yeah, and Florida's going to be
back to back.
Well, Florida got shut out yesterday in Vancouver. They probably play in Calgary on Saturday, if I'm
there's just the
reading
one game
the schedule.
tonight.
Yeah, and then they'll be here Monday. So yeah, man, that game's going to be it's going to be emotional for the fans because they broke Edmonton's heart last June. It's going to be a good test. These two games, man. Like, I love these games because the Oilers always show up against these teams.
They do. Confirmed the Flames get the Panthers tomorrow night. And,
And the Flames are coming off spanking.
Yeah, they did get spanked.
8-3. Kucherov, 6 points.
Yeah.
Hat-trick for Gensel.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, I think the wheels are falling off the Flames a little bit here. Good on them for being feisty and tenacious. They're still in the mix at 33 points through 30 games. A little bit of separation starting to happen. Not a ton, though. It could change in the flash of a night. Mm-hmm. A couple wins from, say, Seattle and Calgary and a loss from Colorado, Vancouver, and even Edmonton. And we're talking about, this thing kind of being flipped a little bit. So it's close, but just the way it's trending for the Flames, 3-5-2 in their last 10. The Kraken 5-4-1. Kraken, didn't they get whooped last night?
No,
they beat the crap out of Seattle or Boston. Pardon me.
Yeah, they won.
Yeah, so I was watching that game at BP while we were doing the post-game show. I saw Marchand's goal on it was a penalty shot.
Oh, nice.
And then every time I looked up, it looked like Seattle was taking it to the Bruins. The Bruins suck this year.
Bruins are in
They're a
shambles.
mess, yeah. Anyway, big game tomorrow. Edmonton 5 points back of Vegas. Both teams have played 29 games thus far. Both teams going in with 8 wins in their last 10. 4-game winning streaks. This is going to be interesting. So a true test, again, like we just saw a couple weeks ago, or a week and a half ago, I should say. I do like the Oilers' chances. If they play that game that they did last night tomorrow afternoon, they win.
If they've played like they have the last 5 games, they can beat any team in the league. Any team.
Vegas saying the same thing about their game right now, though.
Yeah.
But I agree with you. I agree with you.
I was just thinking of Ty Emberson for some reason.
His fight?
What a fight, man.
Good fight.
What a tilt.
And
They're throwing some bombs, man. And he missed on a few, but I love the uppercuts.
He knew that Loco had him, and he was in tight, so he just wham.
This is great.
Yeah, it was.
He's really coming into his own. Good to see. We played him on the post-game show. He's a good kid, man.
Yep. by all accounts, and he had some family and friends watching him yesterday, and many gave them a show. So good on him. Picked up an assist as well. They're talking about getting him the Gordie Howe hat trick. Maybe his first goal with the Oilers. Didn't happen. That'll have to come another day. All right. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. If you have any recommendations for keep it or clip it subjects, let us know.
I'm trying to think on the spot here. I do have one.
Okay.
I might.
Do you want to get into keep it or clip it?
Sure.
We have 15 minutes left.
We need Trev to change the... Trev!
There we go. That's how we do things around here. Everyone's in a festive mood.
Keep it or clip it?
We're getting into keep it or clip it here.
Gracias, senor.
Very good. Practicing for tonight? Tonight's dinner? Very good.
It's going to be fun.
Yes, it will be. All right, let's get to Keep It or Clip It, brought to you by Tommy Guns at Tommy Guns Original Barbershop. We believe a great haircut is more than just a quick in and out. It's about the whole experience. That's why we follow the code, a commitment to deliver the best barbershop experience every time you visit. From check-in to the finishing touch, every step is crafted with care. No appointments needed. Just walk in, relax, and we'll take it from there. Tommy Guns. Time for Keep It or Clip It. What's the one you have for us?
Okay. If Evan Bouchard is set to miss tomorrow's game, keep it or clip it, you would put Ty Emberson on the first pair with Matthias Ekholm.
Clip it.
Who else?
I'm okay. You have two options.
Yes.
You might move Stetcher up there,
Okay.
or maybe start rotating Kulak up there.
That's a good one, too. I'd go, for me, it's either Kulak or Emberson.
You would put Emberson up there?
I think he's played well.
I think he needs to-
you can insulate. Like,
Yeah, he needs to be insulated.
Yeah, you can play Kulak a few shifts like they're doing with Nurse and Stetcher, right?
Yeah.
But I think the way he's played, I think Ekholm can handle him. I think Ekholm's that good that
Interesting.
he can play with him. But I wouldn't put Stetcher there, I'll tell you that much. Or the new guy, if he's going to play, if he can play. Or Josh Brown, if he gets called up. Okay? So for me, I just don't want to... I love Kulak. And I think he's playing great with Nurse. But I don't want to now throw him with another pair. Do you know what I mean? With another guy. So I think Eberson's the easy transition into that spot.
Yeah.
And if the game is close, then you can break it down.
Can you platoon them tomorrow? Like, basically find that rotation that you're talking about from the outset of the game.
Good point by Penner's Pancakes. Yes, because he does PK with Ekholm.
Very good.
God, I'm smart.
Look at you. So you're keeping it. I'm clipping it.
I think that's the most reasonable move right now. And then you can adjust in the game, but you start like that.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
think,
know.
well, the in-game adjustments are a constant that we should just expect every game now.
Because there's no ideal situation if Bouchard's out. There's not. Because the right side's a little weak.
It is. Still.
Right? So
But it is playing well, which is nice. It's good to see. All right. I have one for you.
okay.
Keep it or clip it. Stuart Skinner, right now, is the best Canadian goalie in the NHL.
Wow. What a question.
And yes, this is a nod to the Four Nations face-off Canadian squad.
Man, that's a good question. I'm gonna say clip it. I think he's close.
Yeah,
I still think Aiden Hill's
better.
better.
Would you start Aiden Hill over Binnington?
Yes.
So would I.
Yeah, I think Aiden Hill's the number one for Canada.
So do I.
Outside of last night games, Montembeault was really good when he made the team for like 3 games.
What about the idea of like having a good goalie on a bad team, like really bad team, like the Habs, putting him on team? Like the thing with Hill that I like is that right now he's playing on an excellent team in the NHL.
Yeah.
And I think going to an excellent Canadian squad would be seamless. Whereas Binnington is kind of a wild card to me. St. Louis is, although St. Louis has been playing well at times this year, they're middle of the pack. And Binnington has some nights been great, made some brilliant saves, and other nights kind of pedestrian.
Yeah.
That's why I would lean towards Aiden Hill as well. I'll also clip this one. I think Stu's working his way up, but I still would put Aiden Hill ahead of him.
Stu's, he's always going to be in the top 5 for sure. I don't know about probably. I think he's better than Montembeault.
Exactly.
I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So for me, he's top 3.
Logan Thompson's had a good year. We get that. We recognize Cam Talbot had a nice start too. Congratulations to Sebastian Cossa winning his first NHL game too, by the way.
Yeah, in the shootout.
Yeah.
I'm going to ask Guy about that.
There you go.
Because he just came in for the shootout.
Yeah, I think he did.
Yeah.
If I recall correctly.
I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he got called just for the shootout.
Mike Morrison special.
The Mike Morrison special. Yeah. Man, that guy was a beauty.
Keep it or clip it. Joaquin Gage is the best Oilers goalie to ever beat the Minnesota Wild. The best Oilers backup goalie to beat the Minnesota Wild.
I'll keep it. He's my guy. I love Joaquin. I grew up watching Joaquin, man. It's crazy I do a show with him now.
I'll clip it. He's no Mikhail Stalenkov.
Stalenkov.
I'm kidding. I'd keep it. He's our guy.
Pickard's the other guy.
Pickard, very good. Very good last night. Very, very good. Just steady. Did we get any recommendations for keep it or clip it?
No.
Oh, yeah. Rob from the Grove.
Oh.
Keep it or clip it. Are the Oilers finally the team we were supposed to have at the start of the year? Hernan.
Keep it. Yeah. This is the team that was playing in the Stanley Cup Finals, ladies and gents. This was the team. And the exciting part that fans should be excited about is you're probably adding. I mean, Evander Kane's going to be like a deadline acquisition. I know people hate hearing that, and they're probably going to get torched for it, but it is going to be like that. He's going to be fully healthy. He's a pain in the ass to play against. Yep. He's the one player on this team outside of Corey Perry that can drag his team into the fight when they're not feeling it. He's going to be a big addition. If Victor Arvidsson can stay healthy, I like his game.
Sure.
He's around it all the time. And then they're going to add a defenseman. So it should be exciting for Oilers fans that this team's playing this well right now, heading into the new year, and you're going to have some additions coming. And it's a good problem to have, Tom, when you don't know who to play in your forward group. I love it.
Yeah, good question. Rob from the Grove, thank you for that. I see some funny, nasty chat comments. Good to see Joelle back. I think she had surgery out of hospital. Joelle, welcome back. No
welcome
caps
back.
Locks. She says she'll have caps ready on Monday. Good. Arthur says Nurse is playing a whole lot better. Good to see.
He's been solid, man. Him and Kulak are an excellent pairing. And that's why it bothers me, Tom, because Kulak's so key to that third pairing, too. That's why you need that top 4 defenseman.
Keep it or clip it. Trade back Brett Kulak. Clip that. You keep him. I remember
if
last
they
year.
trade Brett Kulak, Joaquin will probably take a few days off.
Well, he's a Norris candidate right now. So, but I bring that up just because last season, at times, there were some fans suggesting Brett Kulak be traded. And it's like, stop. He's good. Just shh. No. Leave him alone. And now people, because he's stabilized Nurse, he's been steady on his own pair, on that third pairing, people are starting to give him his flowers a little bit, which is good to see. Okay. Arthur says, no doubt Skins is the best Canadian stopper. And then Arthur also adds, or as Stoff would say, gardien. Yes, Bob likes to say gardien. That's French for guardian, a.k.a. goalie. Gardien de but.
Do you agree with this? This can be a keep it or clip it.
What is it?
From Penner's Pancakes. When everyone is back and healthy, the Oilers are arguably the deepest forward group in the league.
Keep it.
Yeah.
I'd keep it.
I think so, too.
Yeah.
Let's go around the league. Let's go through every team and see. No, I'm just kidding. But
we don't have the time for that. Just keep it. I mean, everybody's legit on that team. You're looking at bumping out of the lineup Corey Perry, perhaps.
Derek Ryan,
certainly.
And then
we'll see where Kapanen and Podkolzin are at that point. They're playing well, by the way. They had a very good game last night, both of those.
Yeah, if those 4 guys or 3 guys are out, it's pretty good depth pieces you have, man.
It's a deep forward group. So I'd keep it, Penner's Pancakes. Winnipeg's up there for sure, too, by the way. They have a very
Winnipeg's
solid group.
good, yeah.
Yeah. There's some good teams at forward, but the Oilers' depth would be solid. You know what? Jeff Skinner might be out of the lineup at that point.
That's a good, wow. Can you imagine that?
Yes.
I can.
Yeah, I could see it. Now, Skinner's been playing. He's been playing better lately, more effective. Has it resulted in a lot of points? No.
They just won't
He
play
did
him
score
in the top
against
6.
Tampa though.
Because I think the first line you leave alone. I think you can still move around pieces with Draisaitl.
Yeah.
I know Kapanen's playing really well right now, but you never know. He might tail off, and then you can try Skinner again. Or because I think when Arvidsson is ready to return, he's a lock to be with McDavid. I think it's sorry, Dries. I think it's gonna be Draisaitl, Podkolzin, and Arvidsson.
That's fine. For now. I still think Podkolzin better suited as a third, fourth line guy, but it's working. Let it roll.
Then your third line, Henrique, Skinner, Kapanen. That's not bad.
How about Janmark,
Janmark's on your fourth
the janitor?
with Connor Brown and who am I missing?
I'd put Connor Brown ahead of Kapanen. Unless Kapanen keeps producing.
I mean, right now, no, but yeah, Connor Brown's a guy that's not going to be out of the lineup.
So much can change in that time, but yeah.
And then when Kane
see
comes
where things
back,
are.
where do you play Evander Kane?
The scenario that Penner's Pancakes brought up was both of those guys being back.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Look at that. Nice things.
Holy smokes.
Oil country gets some nice things.
Henrique has been a ghost out there from Andy. Yeah, I mean, but yeah, Henrique's not having the
Offensive year.
the offensive year that we all thought he could. I mean, I don't think I didn't think he was a 60, 70 point guy, but
He's a 40, 50 point guy.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about him the other day before the Tampa game. I asked him, like, how do you think your role here has evolved? And he did say, he talked about, shifting from being a guy in the top 6 to being a third line center. Maybe he's focused too much on the defensive side of things, but he's felt like in the last little bit, a little bit of a shift towards some offense, and he's put up a couple of points here and there.
yeah.
You do want more. You gave up. I understand they gave up a first rounder for him. He was a big deadline acquisition. He is a bit of a Swiss Army knife too. Like, he was playing wing for a good chunk of last season when he got here.
Yeah, they
He
didn't
moved
play him
around
center.
the wing.
Yeah.
And then now he's been playing center, and they've slotted him at third line center. He could still play wing if you need him to.
Yeah, a lot of options, man. I'm
Yeah.
more intrigued to see where Evander Kane fits in this puzzle. I really do. You're not playing him on your fourth, but he's probably going to somewhere in the top 9.
Honestly, Hernan, like, depending how Podkolzin's playing,
He's better than Podkolzin.
he's a higher end talent
Yes.
than Podkolzin. When he's engaged and healthy, huge impact player. Whether or not he's healthy and engaged, to be determined. But
And I have no issues with Podkolzin. I think he's
Yeah.
done a pretty good job. You want more points, sure, but if you're asking me for the top 6, if I'd prefer Podkolzin and Evander Kane, it's Evander Kane all the time.
Yes, he's big, he's tough. He could do everything that Podkolzin does and then some.
Yeah.
When he's engaged and healthy. Anyway. All right. Any final thoughts? Text us 780-218-9999. It's been actually a pretty good show. Nasty chat. I see a few texts coming in. D-Rock says, Podkolzin plays so well, guys. This is the best second line we have ever had. A bit of a hyperbolized message there from D-Rock, but I recognize the LOL at the end of it. Penner's Pancake says, Kapanen not only has really good speed, but he has a nice around the net swoop around that does open up space for his line mates. We've seen that a couple times. And he does PK, so we can't overlook that either. Northside Sangwich says, with this Oilers team, the bottom 6 shouldn't have to score. They just can't go negative. The bottom 6 they have is very dependable defensively, and the odd goal they do get is a bonus. Northside Sandwich, good statement, fair statement. But what happens when they aren't scoring and producing and the Oilers lose a couple games? People, get that bottom 6 scoring. Bottom 6 needs to be better. That does happen.
It's Todd Colson.
Todd Colson. Potts Colson.
When Vasily Podkolzin scores, he becomes Todd Colson.
And it's a inside joke because someone tried speech to text and AI automatically changed Pod Colson to Todd Colson, and we joke about that.
Would you move R&H out of the top 6 when Kane and Arvidsson are back?
Depends. Like, I don't mind him playing third line center sometimes either.
Yeah.
Depending on who you're playing, the matchups, what you're trying to go for. you could do a lot of things with this forward group, especially if they're healthy, like Penner's Pancakes was bringing up. Like, could you imagine this group fully healthy? Well, you got a lot of options, and that's a good thing. Larry says, if Evander Kane is 100% healthy, he will be in the Oilers' top 6. The scoring trumps over Podkolzin or drop Nugent Hopkins as he is having a tough year. Nugent Hopkins with a goal last night, too, by the way. But yes, overall, tough year.
Fun show.
Fun show. Who do you have coming up on EST Afternoons?
Well, 120, we'll have the Reed Wilkins.
What?
I know.
Live in studio.
What?
Highlights, lowlights. Lots of highlights. Not lowlights.
No low lights.
Our guy, Guy Flaming.
I know that guy.
The Pipeline Show, 220. Talk some World Juniors, talk some Oil Kings.
Excellent.
Just overall good dude.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So it's going to be a fun show. Keep it locked, and we'll update you from Oilers practice as they'll hit the ice in about 20 minutes from now. So we'll give you all we know from Evan Bouchard.
Yes, that's going to do it for the Oil Stream. Thank you for filling in for Dusty today. He's resting up his voice. We're going to have some fun today. It's our EST Christmas party. Hello Hockey with myself and Sean Bell and Ben Thompson tomorrow at 10 a.m. live from the Summit Restaurant at Silent Ice Center. And then it's the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show and postgame show from Hudson's Bourbon Street. That'll do it. Thank you as always for listening and watching. Hit that thumbs up button if you're on YouTube. For the Latino Heat, I'm Tom Gazzola saying, talk to you later.